Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome to Take Two for this Thursday, the first day of November 2018. 2 months left to this old year. It's hard to believe that we've gotten here, but I hope this is the beginning of a wonderful month filled with all kinds of joy and all kinds of excitement, particularly with Thanksgiving coming up and the holidays, the rest of the holidays following it right behind. Well, I am excited. You know, this morning I'd like to talk to you about something called it's the most amazing term. I had never heard it until this morning, and that is compassion fatigue. Now, I thought, wow, that totally makes sense. You know, Michael and I like to read little devotional books, and we're a big fan of Johnny Erickson Tata, and we love a little Our Daily Bread in the Upper Room, all those little booklets. They're so encouraging. But this morning, we were reading out of Our Daily Bread, and it touched on the subject of compassion fatigue. Now, in recent days, if those of you who have been following my story, you know that a dear, dear friend of mine, Linda, was in a very serious automobile accident, which nearly caused her to be killed or at least crippled for life. But she did have a series of operations, and the other day I sat in a hospital waiting room for 7 hours while she underwent two surgeries back-to-back, and one was to sort of undo the first surgery that didn't work properly, and the second one immediately following was a surgery to kind of repair the first surgery that didn't work. So altogether, between prep and actual surgeries, we were there for over 7 hours. It was pretty crazy, and I was growing a little weary, I must confess. But we knew that we needed to stay there. We and the rest of the immediate support team, local support team, we were all there together in the room, and we were riding out this storm, so to speak. Well, I must say this, it is very tiring when you're waiting and you don't know what's going on. We did get periodic updates, but in that time period, the periodic updates we got from the nurse was, she's still in surgery, and there was really nothing new to report until the doctor himself called and said, the surgeries are finished. They were a success. Thank you, Lord. They were favorable, and he was very pleased with the outcome. Well, it is easy to get fatigue when you have that kind of compassion that's coming out of you. And I was very emotional as we were going through this. But there have been many times in my life where I have had to just give and give and give, and a lot of times got nothing in return because I was there to be the person to be giving the compassion. And I remember particularly when Michael and I worked in a ministry, worked in an organization that we watched crumble before our very eyes because of mismanagement in leadership, because of issues that arose in leadership, and we watched a very big ministry that we were working for sort of just crumble right before our very eyes. And because we worked in the human resource / pastoral capacity there, we were the ones who had to give the compassion to people. Every single day we had to deal with people who were hurting, who had no direction, who were not equipped to deal with this kind of thing. So we were on compassion fatigue overload. And I used to say, you know what, after it was all said and done, I felt sort of like a coffee pot that was sitting like a Mr. Coffee on the burner, and it should have been turned off a long time ago, and it just burned and burned and burned until there was nothing but ash on it in the pot, but it was still turned on. That's what I felt like. I think that's the best way to describe what compassion overload is like. And that's what happened to me. So be aware if you find yourself starting to fall into that trap of being on overload with the amount of compassion that you're pouring out to others. And don't be afraid to go ahead and ask for some help when you find yourself in a situation like that. So all that being said, said, it's kind of odd because I always remind you to go be a blessing to somebody because you might end up being the only one who is. You may be meeting somebody in this very day who is on compassion overload, who they just give and give and give and give, and nobody ever gives them anything in return. You be that one who does that. And again, if you are the one who is on overload like that or on fatigue, don't hesitate to go to someone who you can trust, who wants to be a blessing to you, and you ask for it, okay? All right. Don't forget to do that. We don't want you like a bunch of ash in the bottom of a hot coffee pot like I felt those years ago. All right, go subscribe to my YouTube channel, Jeanne Sigler, Jeanne Sigler. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and don't forget now to listen to my radio station, which is WRMZ.org. Click the listen button. Okay, everybody, I gotta go. I got a big day ahead of me, but I promise you I won't get fatigued and I won't get on overload because I'm gonna look to the one who gives me all of the peace and all of the energy and all of the strength that I need, because the joy of the Lord is what is my strength. Okay, I love you. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.